We're currently on 17, but you can take it down to 14, 6 by 12, 6 by 9, all the way down to 6 by 6. This has to be one of the coolest cameras I own at the moment. It's so cool to receive a camera that is so well thought out, engineered, and it's also made by a follower of this channel. This is Exposing Engineering's VZ6617. I think it's so cool that somebody out there follows me and thought highly enough of me and my videos to send me something like this. This is a modern day fully 3D printed camera. Only thing that's not 3D printed with this kit obviously is the cable itself and the lens that you attach to it. I mean, even this is a 3D printed piece that has magnets which go onto the body right there and puts it in a perfect place for your thumb to go ahead and push this so you can release a shutter. This thing is so cool. It's designed by Francis over at Exposing Engineering, and around summer last year he took a trip to Europe, and any of us who go on a trip and have film cameras know you got to bring way too many. All the formats, 6x6, 6x7, you might have a 4x5. Like, I'd bring like a point and shoot plus 2 other 35mm cameras. It gets insane. But this is the solve to all of that. This is the 6617 because it has an adjustable film gate, which is so innovative. It is not the first adjustable format style camera. There's a Sinar back, which he took some inspiration from. But the thing about those is that they are so overly engineered. There's so many complex pieces moving. It's all prone to breakage. This is a very simplified design. It's something that he worked a long time on. There was a bunch of different prototypes, and he came to this, which is a beautiful mix of complexity, but very simplistic. There's going to be plans for this to be totally user serviceable. The most you might need is a screwdriver. It's all 3D printed parts, so well made. Looking at this thing, it looks so cool. It looks like the Fuji 617 camera, but at a fraction of the price. Those things are a couple $1,000s, $3,000 to $5,000. I always wanted to own a 6x17 camera. I could just never take the plunge and drop that much. This brought affordability to the market. These come in starting around $550. And for a kit with 2 lens cones and everything, it goes up to, I believe, $799. He just released a Kickstarter the other day. It took off. There was a little early bird bundle, which sold out super quick. And then the 2 lens cone bundles have all sold out since then too. It's down to just the basic starter kit, which is the body and a cone, or the body, cone, and viewfinder. Now, a really cool thing about all of this too is that he talked about the idea of once all of this is done, the Kickstarter's launched, all the orders are getting sold, there might be an option of a storefront where you can buy more lens cones. Hopefully you could buy more of these because I really do think it's such a cool feature. And then also, as he keeps moving on with this camera, maybe a version 2 comes out, this will be upgradable. And that's the beautiful thing about this, is that users themselves can be buying parts and upgrading them. As you saw, this is detachable. It's really easy to fit it into a case. Basically, you unscrew these and then your lens cone comes off. When you get it, you just get the lens cone, the helicoid, and the mount for the lens. He has on the site all the options of lenses that you can put onto this. They're all based around the Copal Zero shutter for now. It might be changeable in the future, but basically if you have a Copal Zero shutter, you should be good to go. As I was saying, most parts are 3D printed. The helicoid is one place that he didn't want to cheap out because there's other 3D printed versions online which work pretty good, but the way that this focuses, it's so smooth, and also you know it's going to be reliable for years to come. I've been shooting it with the Super Angulon 90 f8. I've been pleasantly surprised with how sharp this lens is. I mean, of course, you know from Schneider, they're going to be. And as you can see, it is really nice to have this over here because as you're shooting, it all feels very natural to port the body. It's got handholds on both sides, so you could hold it, and below the lens, there's a dark slide. Something I did run into was this tripod mount. It's a little too close to this to fit on my tripod. It does work well with Arca Swiss. I don't own the Arca Swiss, so there should be a revised body heading this way hopefully soon. That's something that a couple beta testers came across. I'm really excited to shoot this on a tripod. For most of my test photos, it was handheld. A lot of it was pretty wide open, or it was flash. And I honestly have a blast shooting flash, especially with something like this. It just is a different feel than you get with a lot of other things. It's like a a giant X-pan. Another thing to look at on the bottom, there is a QR code which takes you to the site, and it takes you to a table which shows you how to calculate or how to advance your film if you're shooting different frames. Because on this, like I said, you can shoot 6.6, 6.7, 6.9, 6.12, 6.14, 6.17. On top, we have 3 cold shoes, which is nice for a viewfinder, and you can shoot them all in the same roll, jumping back and forth between different choices of frame size. On top, we have 3 cold shoes, which is nice for a viewfinder if you want to use a light meter or a rangefinder, and you can even mount a flash too. There's a light meter called the LD meter by Qi, was one that Francis recommended because it has a light meter and a focus system built into it. I did see a phone app. I was using that to look at framing, seen people mount it on top of the camera, and it is really nice to have that option. It's a little bit easier to use, plus a built-in light meter. And there's actually one more app that I'm going to be testing out soon. It's currently in beta, but it should have a distance calculator and a light meter, which is so cool to have it all in one. It is just a little bit of a hurdle if you haven't shot 6.17 or not large format technically, but it is a little bit more like large format where you kind of slow down. You have to make sure you set your shutter speed, you got your focus, because you're not looking through the viewfinder, so it's just mental notes to make sure you do all these things first. Make sure the dark slides out, and then on top there's bubble levels for forward and back, side to side. Also one out here. Something I really enjoy is that in the viewfinder you can see the bubble level on the bottom, which really helps with making sure that once you're framed up, you straighten it out a little bit and then you fire, because as you're getting these wider frames, you really don't want to be cropping too much. This camera does have advanced knobs versus a wine lever. There was a version that came out with the wine lever, but it's a little bit complicated to get like a ratcheting lever set up. And as he was messing with it more and more, if you're switching between frames and you move over a little bit too far, you can't go back, where with these you can kind of bring it right back to perfectly centered and not waste a shot on your film or run the risk of going too far on the roll and then your last shot's a little cut. It's just nice to have that adjustment. On the side, we're going to pop these. You basically pull them up, pop off like that, and inside it exposes this huge film gate, which as you can see right here, we're currently on 17, but you can take it down to 14, 6x12, 6x9, all the way down to 6x6. So as you're going through your roll, you could adjust it to wherever you want to be. Say your frame calls for 6x6, you could do that. Next frame you want to be shooting 6x12, and you can open it all the way back up. You don't have the scare of putting your fingers through bellows on accident. Just knowing that you have something that is very rigid and strong is honestly gives you a lot of peace of mind. And if you did happen to drop it, if you broke one of the lens guards, which they honestly did save my camera at one point. I don't know if you could see that it's scratched right there, but you can replace anything that breaks on these. For anything you want to know about it too, there's videos online. There's a video he made showing how to load it. I could throw another one up on here if people do want to see that. Also, like I said, the QR code will take you to the site. It takes you to that table. On the site, they have videos like putting the lens on. And also, he's going to have more videos linked in there about how to service it. There's a lot that's going to come out from it. It's definitely only growing from here. He's taken a lot from the beta testers also. So it's really cool that this is a camera that is built to fit so many different people. And it's built with what the users want. And if you guys are all using it and thinking, oh, I want this to be different, or I'd love to actually see like one that's a little bit smaller, like he talked about maybe in the future doing one that's a little bit smaller, like a 6x12, a little easier to carry around. And also it might go down to 6.45, which is so cool what can happen with this. It just depends on what everybody else wants to see. Inside the back door, we have some light sealing around the edge. You got your pressure plate and you have your film windows. To load film on the bottom, you slide that over, it pops that out. Watch out for your fingers because it will hit you. They come out pretty fast. Do that. You can move your roll over to here. Go ahead and push that in. It locks it right in place, and you're ready to load in your new roll. Now on the back here we have windows. There's 4 of them. And it's also marked out on the bottom which windows are for which. So C is 6x6, 6x7, 6x9 are A, 6x12 is B, 6x14 is D, and 6x17 is C. So the table on the bottom really does make it easy. I'm doing 6x17, looking at window C for 2, 5, 8, and 11. So window C, every time you advance it, you make sure that you have a 2, 5, 8, or 11 there. You're good to go. On the side, you have areas to put in the strap. Honestly, a quick disconnect might be the best thing to put on these. Overall, Overall, I'm extremely impressed with this thing. I think that it's so innovative. It's so well thought out. It's going to bring 6x17 to many more people, and it's not just a cheap 3D printed version. It takes 3D printing to all the places where you can help people save, but then also doesn't skimp out on things like the helicoid. It has good levels everywhere. Obviously, you have to have real screws to put these on. And then also just the thought of the magnetic shutter release, just ingenious. And I'm really interested to see where he goes from here and what other people are looking to see on the next version or what upgrades they want to throw on this, because you can do a lot with just this base, or I had so much fun just shooting it as it is. I do think that I might add a 65 to my kit. I might want to get a little bit wider. I've been really enjoying shooting this thing inside, but sometimes you're in really tight spots, and that's why it is really nice to be able to swap out the lens cones and put on different lenses to the system. This camera could take all lenses from 65 to 150 millimeters. You kind of capped it out there just because it's hard to deal with parallax correction past that, especially if you're looking through this viewfinder. It's one of those things where it just gets a little too tedious to try to line that up. There's an optional focus screen that's offered, but the really cool thing though is that the app that's in beta, I should be testing soon, it's going to offer distance calculation and parallax correction. Once you have all that included, it just is going to make this thing a real joy to use. But there's just obviously so much to be said, so much to go over with this thing, and I really am appreciative that one of my followers enjoyed my videos so much and trusted me to be a tester and then do a video on it. So at the end of the day, I really have to give a big thanks to Francis and his kids for watching and supporting me and entrusting me to shoot one of these. I'm really excited to shoot the newer version with the updated tripod mount, and I can't wait to see what's done with future updates or other versions of this. The Kickstarter's still up if you want to go on there and get yourself one. Also, keep your eyes on his page, his website, and watch out for when the storefront pops up. You can get new lens cones and much more. This is the Exposing Engineering VZ6617. If you have any questions on it, and I'm sure some people will, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Thanks for checking out another episode of 365 Days of Cameras. Make sure to check back for more camera-related content. Thanks.